welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's the way you can follow our personal Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. Thank you for watching on YouTube. If you are, you can listen to us on SoundCloud if you just look at everything in the description, right, Dwight?
That's a good call. Yeah, definitely.
So, Dwight, this week we have the NFL to talk about.
Shocking.
We just got done talking a little bit about some wrestling, so the WWE will be in order, I'm sure. Baseball.
A lot of shit with that.
Baseball's happening. The World Series is starting as we speak. The Flyers are off to a good start. We're not going to talk about hockey, but hey, they're looking pretty good at home. They had like 4 straight home games so far. So lately, since they started 3 straight on the road, they looked all right. Basketball. We're going to talk some Sixers, Lakers, maybe even a couple other things to throw in there. But
okay.
As always, Dwight.
What's up?
Football.
Always.
Can I be excited? Can I?
No.
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. So.
It's the worst song I ever heard in my life.
A little rough. The first probably quarter and a half of Monday night, the Philadelphia Eagles scared me. Carson Wentz was put in a bad position, threw a really bad ball on like a 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18. The first possession was absolutely embarrassing, to say the least, on offense. Turns into basically a punt. They end up giving up 3 points because, well, the punt, the interception didn't go past the 50-yard line. Point being, the rest of the game after the first quarter and a half, the Eagles offensively looked pretty dominant. Only had 1 3-and-out after that, and
it's ridiculous.
I think they only punted once after that. So they were. It was fun to watch as an Eagles fan.
Shout out to Washington.
The defense looked good overall. A late touchdown by Washington when it was kind of already out of hand, but
yeah, it didn't matter.
The Eagles' defense still brought it, I thought, all evening. Look, I mean, 6-1. The Eagles are top of the league. Carson Wentz has the best stats. If the season were to technically end right now, the Eagles would be the first team in the NFC, and Carson Wentz would most likely be the MVP, him or Alex Smith.
Knock it off. He's in the conversation. Nobody's going to give it to him.
Stats-wise, if this was a Heisman, and I don't like the Heisman, but if this was the Heisman, Carson Wentz would get the Heisman.
Stop. Knock it off. They wouldn't give it to him. He's in the conversation.
Who would they give the MVP to?
You know they're going to give it to Alex Smith.
I think Alex Smith should be in the running, absolutely.
He's
But
definitely in the running.
point being.
Oh, not Alex. Wentz is definitely, he would be in a conversation today, but
Did you
they
see
would definitely not give it to him. Sorry.
His
Take
rushing,
your Eagles hat off for 5 seconds.
His rushing and passing has been incredible. Did you see the play where it looked like he was all but sacked? It was 3 plays after Peters got hurt, and then he gets out and runs away. It was very.
It was good. It was a good play.
He, for the last 3 weeks, has the best stats in a 3-week stretch that I think I've ever seen a quarterback in an Eagles uniform. So I'm excited.
I don't know what that's saying exactly, but sure, we'll go with that.
Well, you have Randall, you have McNabb, you had
You're
a
like
really
5
good.
years old when Randall played.
Yeah, Randall's still my favorite Eagle of all time. You have Vic. You had the Nick Foles, 7 touchdowns.
Oh, the original.
Goat.
Pennsylvania.
Goat.
The original.
Okay, so
The original hype
do you
train.
remember I was the only one?
I remember the hype train.
Do you remember I was the only one saying after that year where he broke the Eagles touchdown record for most touchdowns in a year? But I was saying trade him. I kept saying it
You
because
tell me every single time we had this conversation.
because
that hype train was so
people
real.
forget. People forget. I was understanding of what you see
So
and
you
what
ready
you're
to trade Wentz
talking
yet?
about. No.
Why
I think
not?
Wentz
You
is the
get
real
so
deal.
much back.
I think
for
Wentz is the real
him.
deal
You
right
get so
now.
much back
I think
for
Wentz
him.
is the real
You
deal.
realize what you can get. You love picks.
I think Wentz can be on the.
Think of all the picks you can get. You love picks. We're building for the future. Trust the process. Trade them.
At his best, if they could get a 10-year run out of him, a McNabb like, a Brett Favre like, maybe even an Aaron Rodgers or
You can, what you can get a pick and get Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Are you sure?
I like what I got.
Are you sure?
I'm going to stick it out with Carson.
Trust the process. Trade him. This
I'd
is
like
what
to see
y'all
them
do.
keep their offensive line, build their offensive line, continue to do that, continue to build on the defensive line, because that's been the successful thing, and Carson has done everything else the right way. Also, feel-good story, haven't talked about one in a while. He, Dutch Destroyer, that's been a story going around on ESPN about him and a cancer patient who ended up passing away. He was only 10 or 11 years old when he passed away. He was a good football player when he was healthy before cancer got to him. And but he got to meet Carson Wentz. Carson sent him a video, and his wish was to just thank Carson. So they got to meet each other and hang out, and it was pretty cool. He spent time there, and his family was actually at the Monday night game. Carson spent time with his family before and after the game, gave him hat and some stuff that he wore during the game. But so that's a feel-good story. Good, Carson, good guy on the field. Love what he does on and off the field. So Eagles are fun. Eagles are exciting. Very glad to take that basically command over Washington. A 2.5 game lead over Washington plus the tiebreakers. That's basically 3 games over Washington.
That division's such a mess.
You would think Washington's all but out of it. So you have Dallas now would be the only 2.5 games out of the Eagles, and with 2 games left to play against the Eagles, so they can they can pull that back. They are the team that's within striking distance.
The other 2 teams are just floating.
Yeah, the Giants and Washington are out of it. If Dallas beats Washington on Sunday, then Washington's basically, you can just end their season right there, then and there.
And Washington wins. Then
before we move on to Dallas,
that's just a mess.
Speaking of Washington.
Oh, you didn't even talk about your boys that are injured. You really didn't talk about that.
Oh, Peters and Hicks. Hicks is my favorite Eagle. He tore his Achilles. He's out for the season. Peters.
Eagles are done. R.I.P.
It sounds like an ACL.
R.I.P. Eagles.
If Vatai can come in and play well.
Crutch.
Yeah, right. I mean, injuries, man, 100%. Every
crazy.
team has them, and the Eagles are not the best timing. So the defense looks all right.
The best defensive player is done.
Second best defensive player, but my favorite defensive player.
Who's number 1?
Malcolm Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Malcolm Jenkins is the best Eagles defensive player. But Jordan Hicks is right there. I love Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks is my favorite Eagle. I love Jason Peters as well, who got hurt. But Vatai, so if they can, they're going to have to move Lane Johnson on the blind side, Vatai back to the other side where Lane Johnson is. I think that's their best
You think
bet.
it's going to impact them?
Yes, obviously it's going to impact them.
I mean, do you think it's enough that it's going to start, like, let's just say immediately they take a L the first week that they're not there?
Let me put it to you this way: they got around it against. They got around it against the Panthers. They didn't have Peters against the Panthers, and Hicks got hurt in the beginning of that game and didn't play the end of it. I mean,
I didn't know the Panthers were world beaters on here.
No, I'm saying they got around it in a game, so I think that there's an opportunity. Their next game's against San Francisco, and then they play Denver, and then they have a bye. So if you really look at it in that sense, to get your feet under them, if they can get 2 more wins going into the bye here and play around these injuries.
I don't know, losing some leaders like that though. I don't know.
No, it's a big deal. I don't disagree, but hopefully they can hopefully they can rattle off 2 wins here, get to the bye, and.
Do you think they're going to though?
Well, San Francisco and Denver, yes, hopefully. It's a short week against San Francisco. San Francisco doesn't have a win, so you would really hope. But at the same time,
it's really sounding like this.
There's a
you're
trap
sounding
game.
like this isn't even going to impact them the way that you're talking.
It's going to hurt them probably down the line when they play teams like Dallas or teams like they play the Rams at some point. They will play Oakland.
I mean, you're right. I mean, the next couple weeks are playing garbage. Because nobody knows what the Broncos are at this point.
Right.
So
and that's an up and down thing. Cool, but the Broncos have a really good front 7, so that's going to hurt them in that game, you would assume. Yeah. Carson Wentz just has to get the ball out faster, hopefully, or move around a little more. He showed he can move around in the pocket. But like I said, just getting around it the way they did with Lane Johnson out, it wasn't Peters, but with Lane Johnson being out in the game against the Panthers, it gives me faith, but not 100% faith. It's not like I'm rolling in here thinking that they're going to go rattle off and, look, they look like the best team up until this point, but that's with those 2 on the field for most of those games. Hicks, it's going to be hard to replace him, but I think Bradham's pretty good. I'd like to see the secondary get a little more healthy. You're going to need Sidney Jones, and Darby. They're saying Darby could come back as soon as Sunday. So that would be help on the back end. With Hicks being out, they're going to need help now deeper behind that because they do have a good front 7. And he's their best. He's their best middle linebacker by far.
Easily.
So
I think it's going to hurt a lot more than what you're even saying. I really do, especially Peters.
I think after the bye is where it's going to really start to show where it hurts. Yeah, I think Hicks is going to hurt a lot, but it's going to be after the bye that it's going to really show. Look, they're not going to have an answer that if running backs get to the secondary, they're going to need Malcolm Bradham to step up and be that guy. We'll see. He's not Hicks, I agree.
Right. There's a reason he was backup. Just saying.
As I was going to say
We'll
about
see.
Washington.
We'll see about the Eagles. We'll see.
My question with Washington.
You can be excited about the Eagles for now, but
They could possibly, with the Eagles, they could possibly be going 8-1 into the bye, and then after the bye is really going to be where you find out who the Eagles are. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're just going to jump over San Francisco. It's a short week, but hopefully they can still get around and win San Francisco. I'm not just going to jump over Denver, who has a great front seven, but hopefully with Denver's offensive woes, that doesn't get fixed by then. As an Eagles fan, you're hoping for that, and then hopefully they're 8-1 going into the bye, and then you figure it out.
Yeah, potentially.
And then after the bye is where it really starts to become.
Are they legit or no? That's when the conversation's going to start.
So Washington.
Mm-hmm. What about them?
We just said that they could basically be pronounced dead on Sunday if Dallas beats them.
Yeah, I mean, you would think.
Kirk Cousins still has good stats, even though it's not translating into wins. What do you do at the end of this year? Do you pay him a big contract?
I feel like we've been having this conversation for how long?
But this is now. It is now
unraveling.
They are now 6 games in to the next season, and they are 3-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it his fault though?
No.
Right.
That's what I'm asking. So what do you do?
Well, you have to give him a long-term deal at this point. But you can't keep doing this year-to-year thing, can you? Like, I don't think you can.
No, you can't. Now you have to give him a long-term. This is it. Now you have to give him a deal or you don't. Either you let him walk to free agency.
I don't think you let him walk.
So you give him the long-term deal right at the end of this year?
They probably should have done it last year.
So,
they put themselves in a situation where if he just thinks out the joint the rest of the year, then
they have an opportunity. But here's the thing. So they don't have a shot to be a top-tier team because you're going to have teams like Cleveland. You're going to have teams like maybe the Jets. You're going to have teams like, who else is pretty bad right now? Indianapolis, but they have quarterback. Who else is bad? Oh, the Niners. So they're going to go after the top quarterbacks. So you're not going to be good enough to get. You're not going to be bad enough. I mean, to go get one of those top tier quarterbacks. So you have to decide now. But you have leverage before everyone else. You have 35 days that everyone else doesn't have to talk with Kirk Cousins.
Look, unless you plan on signing, I don't know, Colin Kaepernick or somebody. There's our cheap plug for him, and that's our weekly cheap plug for him. Unless you're going to sign somebody like that, you might as well just sign Kirk Cousins. What are you going to do? You're really going to start over again. You gave up on the RG3 experiment, and you drafted Kirk Cousins on the same night, which was just completely disrespectful.
Worked out really well.
Enough that they didn't sign him long term, so did it? I guess not.
But 7 years later, 6 years later, he's still there. He's the man.
Barely.
He's putting up big points.
He's there by default.
He's going to get
because you know what? They're having this conversation. They're saying, well, who are we going to get? They were like, well, we don't trust them.
Whether it's from the Washington Redskins, or if it's from the Niners, or if it's from...
He will be on the team next year. Yes.
He'll be with Washington? It's going to be
I don't know who's
he'll be with somebody.
He's going to have a contract.
It's going to be a four-year, $40 million contract is what I'm trying to say. It's going to be a big-time deal.
Yeah. I think Washington will probably just give in, because obviously they've been having this conversation. Nothing. The past couple of years, they've clearly been having this conversation. What is our other option? I think they're probably just going to get to a point. You know what? We have no other option.
Man, Terrell Pryor dropped a couple more passes last night. They don't have much on the outside. Jordan Reed and
Vernon
Davis are their only receivers. They do have Chris Thompson, who's good.
Yeah, he's good. Chris
Thompson's he's the only guy. He's the only one they got.
They
have a good offensive line, but they're going down like flies. Their offensive line keeps getting hurt.
He doesn't have anything to work with.
They have to beat Dallas on Sunday, or else their season is over. Speaking of Dallas,
what about them? I'm not gonna hype up this train, so go right ahead.
40. They put the big 4-0 up Sunday. Got to the quarterback a little bit.
I love that people were like, "Oh, Dallas won," and I was like,
"Dallas back, Dallas back, Dallas back." Tweeted Dallas back. No. Good game though, yes.
No and no.
Did Dez get a record? I didn't get to watch the entire game. Did Dez get a record? Somebody said that Dez broke some kind of record.
He tied the most.
Irving?
I don't know who has the record. He tied the most receiving touchdowns in the history of the Cowboys. Yes.
Oh, good for him.
Which I was like, really? He tied it already? I was like, Jason Witten doesn't have it?
He had a good amount of
I was really surprised Jason Witten doesn't have it.
He had that 20-plus touchdown year. Remember that year where he scored 3 on the Eagles on Sunday night to win the division?
I do.
He had 21 touchdowns that season.
I do.
He had 21 touchdowns.
Jason Witten doesn't have that.
Jason Witten's probably up there. I think Michael Irvin was the guy he
I need
tied.
to see the list. Anyway, he tied. I don't think he. I think he only had one touchdown that game. So no, he did break it.
Okay,
he'll probably break it this weekend.
If not this weekend, he'll do it the next week or two. But
Right, but this game it proved absolutely nothing to me. I wasn't excited. I was like, yeah, we won.
good. It was a good game. They look good.
For who?
Zeke looked good.
Cowboys, I guess. I mean,
Cowboys offensive
we
line
look
looked
like the
good.
team that we're supposed to look like, but we did it against the worst team in the NFL, so it doesn't mean anything to me. I can't even be like, oh, well, did you see this?
So
No, because
okay.
I'm just saying, like, I'm
How you
just
feel
being
about
real.
the G-Men?
Fuck G-Men. I'm just saying with the Cowboys, I mean, like, what is there to say about their offense did exactly what you expect them to do against anybody, which they can put up 30.
Came out the bye.
They can put up 30 against anybody, but
Zeke will play this week, that's for sure.
and he's always going to put up he's always going to do what he did exactly in that game.
We'll find
Our
out
offense did
October
exactly
30th on the ruling of Zeke.
Ugh. That's funny because it's so close to Halloween. The offense did exactly what I've been saying. We can put up 30 points against anybody. We put up 40.
They just did.
It's just that we played the 49ers who can't put up any points. So, like, yay, they won. We're still in the conversation. But it meant absolutely nothing to me.
To wrap up the
Because
NFC East,
I'm just realistic.
the G-Men lost to the Seahawks. Seahawks look good.
R.I.P. R.I.P. the G-Men. R.I.P. I mean, yeah.
Is it time to move on from Eli?
We just gonna keep asking this question
Every week.
But we can't blame it on him. He
It's not
has
his fault. He
nothing.
didn't look that
He has
bad.
nothing. He has nothing to throw to anymore. What are they gonna do?
So,
I heard T.O. and Chad Johnson are still looking for jobs.
the game of the week. Salsa dance, Ocho Cinco.
Speaking of salsa dance, why have they not contacted Victor Cruz? They lost all these wide receivers, the Giants, and they did
Doesn't
not.
Victor Cruz play for Tampa now?
No, he's a free. I'm pretty sure he's a free agent. I'm pretty sure he got cut.
I don't know. I believe. I don't know.
I think he got cut before the season started.
You could be very right about that, and that'd be unfortunate
I'm
for them
almost
if they
I'm
didn't
almost
contact
certain.
him. They're dumb.
If not, I'm dumb because I'm pretty sure he's a free agent.
I get down with Victor Cruz. No, I thought he went to San Francisco. I forget. What, I mean, you might be right though.
I know he went somewhere. No, he went somewhere and he did get cut. I
Okay.
forget where he went to. So he is available. He's definitely available. Why have the Giants not contacted this man? I guess they're Washington. I guess they're really looking for a new quarterback. Maybe they just, you know what? This is Brandon's course. We got 2 Super Bowls. You know what? We can just draft somebody and start over. It's about that time. You would think. What else are they doing?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, at this rate, your offense is depleted. Start fresh with a hot, fresh rookie. If you can get one that's good.
It does feel good
Put him with
to see
Odell.
that they are where they are. Because I predicted that before the year that they weren't
You're
going to
not
be.
that guy, though.
I said they weren't
You're
going to
not
be
that
that
guy.
good.
You're not
I
that
said
guy.
they weren't going to be that good.
We've had this conversation last week. You're not that guy.
I said they weren't going to be that good.
But you're not that guy. You find a positive. So where's the positive in the Giants?
That they're going to get a top pick. they're going to get a really good quarterback probably. That's scary. I don't want that. I'm already kind of scared of Kirk Cousins. Not really, but sort of. And I'm scared of Dak. I am scared of Dak.
Should be a bit scared of Dak.
Game of the week last week. Didn't come on
It was
Sunday.
only one good game last week.
Well, I thought Monday was a great game, but we don't have to get into that.
Let's have real conversations. Oh, actual good game.
Sunday.
Well then, if your game was good, then obviously the Cowboys had the best game of
Good
all
for you.
time.
Good for you. That must have been fun.
I mean, I'm just going off your logic because Eagles won, Cowboys won, but we won better. So I mean, it was a better game.
The most competitive game.
Real conversation.
Thursday night football. So Uncle
Wait,
Raj.
you're trolling me. You're trolling me.
Uncle
it was
Raj-
on Thursday Night Football?
Uncle Raj doesn't like you.
That's cool. I don't like him either.
The last 3 weeks he liked you. This week he doesn't. He's gonna give you Miami
I don't like Uncle.
with the backup quarterback versus Baltimore with an offense that hasn't moved the ball in 6 weeks.
Okay, does he not like me, or is this a gift because I hate Jay Cutler? And
Matt
he's
Moore.
gone now, so maybe he's like, you know, Dwight, you want to see a new quarterback? You don't like Jay Cutler, here's Matt Moore.
Last week.
But you don't like the Ravens, so that's
Thursday night.
That's his gig. That's what happens when you talk about a man's wife. He changes the schedule in the middle of the season when he watches our show.
That was my fault. Last week.
I trolled it too because I thought it
Oakland.
was funny as hell. Skip Bayless.
Once in the last 5 times that they have played Kansas City, they beat Kansas City since Andy Reid has taken over. They are 1-5. So once in the last 6 times.
Okay.
It was a Thursday night short week in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Happened again. So they are now 2-5. Both times short weeks, Thursday nights. This was 31-30 on the last play of the game, which got extended twice. The first one,
times.
the first one I did not think was a penalty. The second one I did think was a penalty. I didn't understand the play call.
Which one are you talking about? The push off?
Yeah.
You didn't think it was? The push off was definitely a penalty.
No, then the other one. I forget. You know what I mean.
I know that.
One I didn't feel was a penalty. The other one I did.
It must
feel
have been in the other one. I know there was a push off, and that one I was like, that was an obvious push off. I forget what the other penalty was. So fair.
I didn't think one was a penalty.
Okay, I'll give you that because I don't remember the other one. But I know the push off. I was like, well, duh.
And so the play happened from I think the 3-yard line, and on the final play, the third play that happened was 0 time, and it was a Derek Carr rolling out, and he went his back shoulder, and he threw it like this, and I didn't like the play call, and as it was happening, I was like, why? And then it worked. So who am I? But 31-30.
Only God's an expert, Ernie.
Incredible game. It went back and forth.
Great game.
Amari Cooper had like 200 and some yards, 2 touchdowns. I have him on my fantasy teams. So shout out to him. I won all 3 of my fantasy games because I won 3 leagues 2 weeks in a row.
That's what's up. Both of my teams won as well. My one team that was 0-4 had won 3 straight.
Your Aaron Rodgers team?
Yep. Because I had Derek Carr as my backup.
Nice. He balled out.
Right. So going back to Cooper real quick.
Alex Smith had a great game.
Time out. Go back.
Tyreek Hill had a great game. Hunt had a great game. Cooper had a great game. He had the best game out there.
His stats I feel like
Jared
are
Cook had a great game.
Entirely misleading. This man, okay, he
put a good game.
If you look at it one way, yes, 200 yards, yes, that's going to blind you, but I saw
half his team's points.
That blinds you. That's cool. And do you see how many drops this man had?
Well, in the season he leads the league in drops. Yeah, you're gonna get that. That's the new NFL, homie.
No. He had far too many drops.
I don't like it.
Far too many critical drops.
I don't like the strikeout and home run ratio in the MLB, and that's just how it goes. I don't disagree.
No. And that's what irritated me about the situation, because I saw the drops a lot more. I didn't know the overall yards, and I was like, the yards are going to be the story. Nobody's even going to talk about the fact that he dropped.
Touchdowns.
He dropped. Cool. I'm not taking that away from him. But ignore that for 5 seconds.
11
this
catches,
man,
2 drops.
It was more than 2.
He had 2 on the game.
It was more than 2.
He had 17 targets. He only had 2 drops on the game. Who's
keeping the stats on that? Who's clicking that? Because I counted it.
I saw it on CBS on the CBS Sports app.
He has 11 He had more than 2 drops in that game.
Well,
far more. Well, then I guess some stuff just didn't count against him for whatever reason. But there was at least 4 or 5 times that I was like, dude, how?
Jared Cook came up with a big catch.
And even the commentators even said, how many times has this man dropped his ball? But then they were like, oh, yeah, 200 yards. So we're going to ignore it. No, that's not okay. You don't ignore the fact that if Dez dropped it, then this man, what is this man doing?
Crabtree came up with the catch for the touchdown. Cook came up with the catch to bring him down into the 1-yard line. Why? So Cook catches the ball, and I knew right when he caught it and landed that he landed at the 1 and he was in the end zone, right? Why? Yeah. I saw right away. You saw right away.
Yes.
Why when they reviewed it?
I was annoyed that they reviewed it.
There was 16 seconds on the clock when that happened. Why because they review it did it drop down to 6 seconds?
Actually, yeah. I don't know.
They did the 10-second runoff. Remember that's what I was telling you that beat Atlanta? Yeah. They did that in that game, and it went from 16 to 6, and it hurt.
That's the rule. That's the dumbass rule.
I wanted to throw something at the end of the
You know what's going to happen?
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's all so infuriating.
Next offseason, you know it's going to be gone. They're cutting that. Because too many people complain. Too many people complain.
Someone needs to get slapped in the face if they don't.
I agree. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't even turn to violence.
Like, obviously, I don't know why they put that rule in. I'm assuming something happened or somebody tried to take advantage of a situation or whatever, but
time and place for it, then figure it out your time and place for it. Give me some better stipulations. That's not a good stipulation.
If somebody goes down,
Detroit is not a good stipulation.
You know when you
NFL
use it,
fix it.
You know when you use it when somebody goes down.
2017.
Whether it's legitimate or not, you use that.
That's an official timeout. I'll give you that.
I don't.
Really if your team doesn't have any timeouts, yes, that's how it happens. What I was going. If your player gets hurt.
That's what.
That's what I mean. So it would be an official timeout if your team doesn't have any timeouts, because your team would have to have timeouts.
If a player, whether legitimate or not, is hurt, then run it, because you can't prove if they're faking or not. And we know teams freaking do that where, okay, go down, we're going to stop the clock. If that happens, whether it's legitimate or not, unless somebody's going out on a stretcher, whatever, 10-second runoff, cool. Otherwise, They need to cut that because it's
if
stupid.
you have timeouts left, they just
ridiculous.
take a timeout away. If you have timeouts left, they just take a timeout away and keep the seconds.
That's cool. Do
but
that then.
But you're right. That's the reason it's there for injury. It's for an official timeout is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
This is the rare times where the official timeouts happen to come from reviews, but that's not the team's fault. This is not a player getting hurt. They need to fix that rule. We're in 2017.
Oh, you're saying okay? So wait, we're having two different conversations. You're saying because it was the official review that they were doing that it should have counted against the team.
Yeah, they still took 10 seconds.
But
the reason that rule is in place is for what you're saying. The reason the rule is in place is for what you're saying. They call it an official.
Well, that doesn't.
They call it an official timeout.
That doesn't even go together.
But because it's still, you know why it's still called an official timeout. It's called an official timeout when a player gets hurt, and any time of the game, it's called an official timeout if a player gets hurt. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Now they're pulling strings.
So you're following?
Yes.
They need to fix that. It's 2017. Fix that rule. That's what I'm trying. Okay, so now you're on my page here. This is a problem.
But
this is a huge freaking problem.
It's an official timeout, but it's not an official.
It's not an actual, right.
It's not an official timeout.
Right. And so if you have a timeout, so if the Raiders would have had a timeout, they could have called a timeout and kept the 16 seconds and had the ball at the 1 yard line. Instead, they had to take the 10-second runoff and run the play because as the official
it's an official timeout.
Right. So you're following.
That's retarded.
Ridiculous. 2017 fixed it. Okay, so they still win the game. Doesn't hurt them that bad. So stupid,
That's
man.
I hope everybody just follow that because that really is stupid.
I'm glad, that was like the world clicking, because I've been trying to get people to get this for a long time. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
Wait,
I don't know, dude. I've been yelling about this all season long.
So it's called an official timeout.
So now you're understanding how bad this Detroit-Atlanta game was, where Atlanta basically got it in a phantom win, because Golden Tate caught the ball, right? Say this is the goal line. He caught the ball here. His knee was down, and there was 4 seconds on the clock, so they did a 10-second runoff, even though they called it a touchdown on the field. That's not Detroit's fault. Detroit ends up not even getting a chance to run the play that they should play when they got a first down on the play.
They're cutting that. They're changing that. Absolutely.
It cost a team a game this year. This did not cost them a game. They ended up still winning the game. But it's a problem, and it's just another example of the problem.
They need to get on it. If Adam Silver was a commissioner, he would have changed it 2 years ago. But, I mean, we don't all have forward-thinking commissioners.
I'm really glad.
Roger Goodell's too busy worried about Ezekiel Elliott, so... he's busy. He's not even watching football. He's like, wait, there was a game going on? Wait,
he doesn't have to worry about Tom Brady anymore.
No, apparently. Clearly.
James Thrash was on the committee for...
Timeout. You don't just throw that garbage name out there just casually like you just did. What?
He was on the committee for the appeals process.
I need you to explain
Marshawn
because,
Lynch.
one, I know who that garbage player is, but can you explain to normal folks who that garbage player is?
Donovan McNabb's first, second, third, and fourth year. The first year that they went to the NFC Championship and lost to the Rams. James Thrash, who was often called James Trash.
He was trash. But was he like their 4th-string wide receiver?
He was He was their first.
Like McNabb. Yeah, he was for a couple years.
Him and Todd Pinkston for 1 through 4 years. His first, second, third, and fourth year, and then they go to the playoffs. Remember when they went to the playoffs? And they went to the NFC Championship with James Thrash and Alligator Arms, Todd Pinkston, as and Fred X. Fred X was the slot wide receiver as a rookie against the greatest show on turf. And they lost 24-21 in that game.
You don't understand.
And they did that stupid ass lateral play at the end of the game, and they actually almost scored on it, but they didn't.
You're so lucky you didn't know me then, because I dogged that wide receiver course so badly, and I used to love because I had some Eagles friends, and they used to just defend them like they were so good. That was the worst core.
I wasn't a big James Thrash or Todd Pinkston fan at all.
Garbage. He was trash.
He was not. I did not like them. I liked the Eagles defense
back
then.
Pinkston, in comparison, he was.
I like Deuce Staley. Pinkston wasn't even that good. I like Deuce Staley.
Compared to trash.
I mean, they went out.
What I like to say is it better to be.
They went out and got T.O.
Is it facts? Is it better to be trash or garbage?
Anyways, he was the guy on the appeals process for Marshawn Lynch when Marshawn Lynch came out and tried to pick a ref up away from a fight when he was trying to keep Marcus Peters, his homie, his cuz, his boy, from Oakland out of the fight against the offensive lineman, because the offensive linemen were legitimately about to knock Marcus Peters out for trying to knock Carr out.
Yep.
And Marshawn Lynch was like, nah, see, my dudes on the offensive line are
so-
wild.
so-
And Marcus Peters, I need to tell you, my dudes on the offensive line here are wild, so I'm going to get you out of this. And he ends up picking a ref up by accident.
No.
He was doing the right thing, not by accident. He was just trying to...
It was no accident.
He should have never done it.
He gripped him up.
He should have never done it.
Okay, so when I saw it live, I
He
was
did it
like,
to move him, though. He was just like, bro, I need you to not get involved in this because you're going to get
Can't
run
do
over.
that.
You're too
Can't do
small.
that. Can't
You're
do
too
that.
small, and I don't want you to get hurt.
Here's what's annoying about
I know.
that. One, Marshawn Lynch, you know better. You can't, like, really?
He did it out of the kindness of his
Stop.
heart. He
Knock
did
off.
it the wrong
Knock
way.
off. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off. You can't do that.
I agree.
When I saw
We're not
it
having an
live,
argument there. We
when I saw
totally
it
agree.
live, when I saw it live, okay.
Yeah.
I thought, because it looked like he grabbed the ref just because he felt a body touching him, and he was just grabbing people and just trying to get him off of him. And I thought that he just accidentally grabbed the ref, but then in real time I was like,
You see it, right. You see the
he
replay.
looked like he slowed up. No, but when I saw the replay, no, he actually grabbed him, was looking dead at the ref, and
Picked him
still
up.
pushed him.
Picked him up and moved him.
Come on, man.
We agree.
You know better.
We
He's
agree.
a grown ass man.
He ended up in the stands. He ended up in the stands.
You're an adult.
He ended up going into the stands after the game, and then
That was even the funny part.
Then he ended up on the subway with Marcus Peters after
That was
the game.
hilarious. Did
That's
you see what he was
That's
chanting?
one of his best friends.
Did you see what, that
No,
was his
it was-
cousin. That's his cousin.
I've been hearing mixed about it. If it's actually
Well,
his
girl
cousin.
is.
Either way, they grew
Well,
up
all
together.
black
They've
people,
been
they're
best
all
friends.
cousins. You know how that goes.
They've been best friends though since like 3rd or 4th grade.
All black people are cousins.
At minimum, that's what I'm getting.
At minimum, they're cousins.
They might be cousins.
Did you see what he was chanting? No,
They call each other cousins. What?
You see the videos? There was 2 videos going around. First, Lynch was talking to a German guy, and he was teaching the German guy how to pop his collar.
Okay.
Okay, that was funny. But the funnier one, he was going to his cousin, whether it's real or not, and he was chanting, and he was doing this while he was doing F the Chiefs, F the Chiefs. It was the funniest
Well,
thing.
'cause they hate
I
the
laughed,
Chiefs.
I laughed so hard.
Nice.
Marshall Lynch just does not care.
Was Marcus Peters laughing?
I don't know. They didn't show him.
Marcus Peters.
The camera was kind of back a ways, but it was funny as hell.
So
Bottom line, Marshall Lynch, you know better. Knock it off. I know you don't care, and it's funny that you don't care because we don't care that you don't care.
well, look,
But
he's
come on,
getting
man.
suspended for 1 game. The
course.
appeal is going to be
Of course.
upheld. But look, it's against Buffalo. Is the next game, right? You know, you know, Marshawn Lynch was sitting there saying, you know,
I can get high that day.
the last time that I was in Buffalo is when I told them I didn't want to play for them no more, and they traded him to the Seahawks. I think I'm just going to sit this one out, and then he ends up figuring out a way to sit that one out so he doesn't have to ever go back to Buffalo again. He's like, I'll play him if they come to me, but I ain't really trying to ever go back to that city for
you
nothing,
think he
bro.
really cares?
He's like, I ain't trying to go back to Buffalo for nothing, bro.
Marshall Lynch did his obligation that he felt, which was playing for his city, Oakland. Other than that, he does not care.
He
what
actually
happens.
plays for Oakland. The Raiders left
right,
Oakland.
that's what
He
I'm
literally
saying.
plays for Oakland.
He
The
does
Raiders
not
are not
care
about
about
Oakland.
anything else.
He's actually about Oakland. He's not about the Raiders. He's not about his teammates. He's not about
Nope.
Marshawn Lynch.
Nope.
He's not even about
He's there
Oakland
for
Raiders. He's
Oakland.
about Oakland.
For his people.
Oakland. He's
And
about
that's
Oakland.
awesome, but so this suspension, he was like, I'll sit out on a away game. Cool.
Yeah.
I gotta travel to the East Coast. Cool.
I ain't gotta go to Buffalo, bro. I
I'm
don't
gonna
like
chill.
Buffalo. I was in Buffalo. Me and
It's
people in
cold.
Buffalo don't get along.
It's cold. I can go to a Lakers game. I'm chilling.
Speaking of cold, it wasn't cold. It was because it got warm and then it started to get cold at the same time. Fog rolled in pretty bad in the second half of the New England and Atlanta game. New England basically dominated the rematch of the Super Bowl. I think it was 21-0 at halftime.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
The only thing I want to talk about for Atlanta, right? Why don't they
there
throw
goes my Super Bowl pick.
Why don't they throw the ball to Julio Jones more? Did you see the touchdown that he got in the second half?
No, I didn't watch that game.
So the ball is literally on the 4 or 5 yard line, and Matt Ryan turns. They barely threw the ball to Julio Jones all game. I just want to throw this out there, okay? They didn't really ever. Julio Jones, who is a monster, who they haven't really thrown the ball to all year for some reason. He's like 70.
They did early on.
He's like only like 17th or 18th in targets in the NFL.
He
should be top
I remember
five.
by
He should be top 5 in
week
targets,
2
yes.
or whatever, we were talking about how they were targeting him and
Okay.
getting the ball, and he was still balling out.
Well,
so.
this game they didn't, but inside
Okay.
the 5, they had this play where they threw it, and the ball, say you're the defender, was here on you, and he went up and over you and pulled it in. He
what he does.
ripped it out of the dude's hands.
That's what he does.
It was super impressive. Julio Jones, outside of that, Atlanta looked horrible the entire game. Their defense didn't look all that good. Tom Brady, being Tom Brady. Are the Patriots back on track? Are they back to being that number 1 overall team? Do you trust them to be the best
No.
team in the AFC? Steelers had a huge game on Sunday where the
anybody.
Steelers end up in the second half rolling over Cincy, but they did not look good in the first half of that game.
Damn the AFC. I don't trust anybody in the NFL.
I don't either.
Like, I don't, like, we were having this conversation off air. Like, there's not too many legitimate teams, if I could really name one, that I would put everything on the line for to go all the way right now.
There's plenty of seasons
I can't
there's plenty
go
of
that
seasons
way.
left for the Falcons to come back in the NFC, and the NFC is still wide open. Even though, look, because they have Carolina in their division. Carolina didn't look good Sunday. Cam, he looked all right, but then he ends up not being
garbage. He looked average.
He looked average. He looked bad.
Knock it off. Okay. And you got as much as you...
2 of his 3 turnovers weren't his fault, but he didn't play a good game.
Is what it is.
He didn't play a good game.
You got Drew Brees out here, which...
New Orleans might be the best, and then Tampa. So New Orleans, Tampa, and Atlanta. Those 3 plus Carolina. All 4 of those teams right now could easily win that division.
All 4 of them look good. All 4 of them look like garbage.
So my point being is Atlanta can't just be counted out of this going down the stretch. So all 4 of those teams are a wild card. You have Dallas and Philly in the East.
That's going to be a toss-up to the end, yeah.
The West has the Rams and Seahawks.
Knock it off.
Speaking of the West.
Maybe the Seahawks. I'm not ready to knock the Rams off. Knock the Rams off.
In the North have Minnesota, Detroit. You can't really count Green Bay out, can you?
Aaron Rodgers is playing.
Chicago's
Yes, I can.
out. Chicago's out of it.
Did you just say you can't count Green Bay out of it?
You can.
Okay. You forgot Aaron Rodgers.
Arizona.
The other Carson. The
Lost.
old Carson.
He got hurt. Broke some ribs. He's going to be out for a while. You brought up our
they're
Colin
out.
Kaepernick plug. Second Colin Kaepernick plug of the day. Yeah. Bring him in.
No,
Do
it
it.
sucks.
They legitimately are going to go with Blaine Gabbert. You cannot tell me that you think Blaine Gabbert is better than Colin Kaepernick. You cannot look me in the face. Nobody can. From that organization, not from the NFL, not from our Facebook friends, not from our Twitter feeds, not from anything. Nobody can tell me that they think Blaine Gabbert is better than Colin Kaepernick. And if you can, I do not want to talk football with you.
Are you singling anybody out on your Facebook?
No, we just cannot talk football if you legitimately think that.
Please talk about his Facebook. It's funny.
If you come into my mentions, you're going to get corrected.
I'm saying, though, like, okay, so, again, who can you really ride with to say, you know what, they're going to be there towards the end and they might be the team to beat? You can't say anybody other than maybe the Chiefs.
Everyone's saying the Eagles right now.
Everybody needs to
But the
calm
Eagles,
down,
like I
calm
said,
down.
you got to wait till after the bye to figure out with them.
We'll see.
I mean, the Chiefs, yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be fair. I said the same thing.
You don't ride with the Chiefs?
I said the same thing about Dallas that shit.
I think last year, Dallas was on that train last year. Yes, that's where I think they were. But the Eagles, I think after the bye is where you're gonna have to figure it out. After the bye is where you're gonna figure out with the Eagles.
If I'm gonna say wait and see for the Cowboys, you gotta say wait and see about the Eagles.
I think the Chiefs will be there at the end of the year. Man, I'm telling you, my stock is still in the Patriots.
I'm not. I'm about over it. I'm just.
My stock's still in the Patriots.
Because you feel like there's nothing else to say other than yes, and I've been with you up until now.
Tom Brady.
I'm just like, and I get that, and
He looks good still.
He
still looks good
with that, but he's also looked alright this season. So I mean,
his defense looked alright. He looked good. He is 75% of their offense.
Congratulations.
They scored 25 plus points in every game.
If the NFL is that garbage that one man is about to just take control of it, then I mean, there's a problem.
It's not. It's just
there's a lot more problem when the NFL than taking these
7 weeks in.
We had this competitive conversation last year about how it's not. There's parity. No, it's just garbage. You can't name a dominant team in the NFL.
If you really went through the
And
list
you can,
of
I can literally
teams
tell
that
you
are comfortable with quarterbacks, you have to talk about teams who are comfortable with quarterbacks are teams that are usually the teams that are going to be talking about at the end of the season. And if you really start to go up and down the NFL, how many teams are really going to be comfortable with their quarterbacks beyond this year? It's not many. It's like 10, maybe. Out of 32, maybe 11.
I just don't buy it. There's nothing to buy. If you had to pick a team where you put literally all of whatever, all your money into it, could you name more than one? You can't.
No, because right now...
Right, because there's too many question marks.
The 3 teams I would be highest bet on, you'd have to say, is New England, Kansas City, and Philly, right? Because Philly has the best odds in the NFC to make the playoffs at this
question
point.
Marks, and the Patriots
KC
is just habit. The Patriots are habit. That's all Patriots are.
But is there any other
maybe
team?
Kansas
Pittsburgh.
City.
Pittsburgh.
Maybe
Would you
Kansas
put
City.
Pittsburgh? Would you put money on Pittsburgh? Would you put them in that stock?
No, because I'm taking Kansas City over.
Seahawks and the Rams are fighting for that
Rams,
division.
no. Rams, no.
Seahawks, so their defense.
Seahawks.
Defense has been wishy-washy. Outside of this Giants game, they've given up, I think, 25 points in every game or 20-plus points in every game.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of confidence in a lot of these teams, just in general. Which, I mean, I guess...
Pittsburgh's 2 losses are fluky.
Pittsburgh, I'm just tired of their drama.
But when they look good, they look good. Same with the Eagles. When the Eagles look good, the Eagles look good. New England, yeah, all right.
Same with
all right,
5 teams.
Kansas
Same
City,
with Dallas. Same
yeah.
with this team. There's several teams where you can say when they got together, they're great. But there's too many off weeks for all of these teams. Eagles just so happen to only have one up until this point. That's what I'm saying, man. There's not too much domination going on, which maybe is a good thing because there's a lot of unpredictability. And the fact that we can't say it's going to be clearly these teams, maybe it's a good thing. It's not the NBA where we're saying it's clearly going to be these teams.
It's only 7 weeks in as well.
Right.
There's 10 more
that's
weeks.
what I'm saying.
There's 10 more
Maybe
weeks
it's a good
of
thing that
NFL
we
play.
can't put it on 2 teams.
We're not even halfway through.
Right, and I get that. I'm saying maybe it's a good thing. But it's still something to say, you know what, that's crazy.
2 weeks from right now, we'll be halfway through the season.
Which is ridiculous, but I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. There's too many question marks with many teams, as far as I'm concerned.
So Dwight, sticking with football, college football, real fast before we move on. Cool. Saturday night there was 2 big games. There's another big game coming up this Saturday. There's actually 2 big games Saturday, but a really big game Saturday.
Are they bigger than what's happened?
One is as big. I don't know if bigger, but as big. Notre Dame, my Fighting Irish beat the crap out of USC. That's always fun. 49-14.
But you're not that guy.
But that feels good in the sense of they have NC State next week, this upcoming week. That's a big game. NC State's a good team, but if Notre Dame can beat them, they have Miami coming up. Miami's the hardest team left on their schedule. Miami's a very good team.
Awesome.
Stanford at the end of the season, another good team. So if Notre Dame can win out, if they can beat Miami, Miami's going to be the hardest game. If Notre Dame can win out...
I can't stand you. I can't stand you.
Averaging 400-plus rushing yards a game. Their offensive line looks very
why I
dominant.
can't
Their
stand you?
defense looks better.
I can't stand you because you're such a fanboy. If they went out, how many more games are going on?
There's 6 left.
If they went out, and you're talking about if they went out
State's
already.
NC State, Miami, and Stanford are the 3 hardest games.
Okay, so that's half of the remaining 6.
I agree.
Well then, oh my god. Okay, continue.
And I'm scared. I'm taking it week to week. But if they,
I'm
just saying if they if they win out and only have 1 loss at the end of the year, it's hard to keep them out. Penn State has 1 hard game left the rest of this year. They have 6 games, but they have 1 hard game left. It's this upcoming week. Penn State beat Michigan. They play Ohio State this week. If they beat Ohio State, the next 5 games they have are very easy, and they're going to breeze themselves into the playoffs.
And if the Lakers went out, they'll have the best record in the history of the NBA.
I feel like you don't know how college football works.
I feel like you don't understand what I'm saying.
Most teams don't have. I mean, teams that make the playoffs usually have 0 losses or 1 loss. No 2-loss team has ever made the playoff.
I understand that. I
so Notre
absolutely
Dame has to win out. Penn State, if they lose this game but still make the Big Ten championship, maybe they have a chance to still make it in. But basically, you can only get 1 loss. You get 1 loss. That's it. Notre Dame had their loss. They lost at home by 1 to Georgia. Georgia's still undefeated. They would be in right now. Penn State would be in right now. Alabama would be in right now, and I forget who their team would be. There is no other. It's a 1-loss team. But anyways.
Okay, so put your fanboyism over there.
Mm-hmm.
Do they win out or no?
Notre Dame?
Yes. Yes or no? It's
a
yes or no. It's a yes or no.
Yes, and if they don't win out, I think they have 1 loss.
You get on my nerves, bro.
I think if they have 1 loss, it's to Miami. I think they can beat NC State, and I think they can beat Stanford.
Okay, Skip Bayless, you just talked out 2 sides of the mouth. Do they win out or no?
Yeah. I think they beat Miami. He beat Miami last year. Miami's good, though. That's Miami's last loss is that Notre Dame game. They're on an 11-game win streak. The last 9 Miami loss was against Notre Dame.
I asked this man to put his fandom on the side, and he said yes to them winning out.
That was a good game last year. Well, we'll see. I want to take it one game at a time. NC State beat Notre Dame last year. NC State's a good team. Notre Dame's very good this year. Josh Adams finally getting recognition for the Heisman.
Week to week, they're very good.
Winbush.
Can you just call what it is? Week to week, they're very good. Because week to week, when they win, they're great. When they lose, I don't want to talk about it. They suck.
No, I didn't say they sucked when they lost to Georgia. They lost by 1 point. And that was their only loss. I was proud of them. I thought their defense looked good that game. I was mad at their offense. I was angry at the wide receivers. That was the only thing I was mad about. I was mad going into the season. I was very angry going into the season. I was not.
No, you were very positive. I was the one telling you to pump the brakes.
But look at where they're at. 1 loss. They dominated USC, which was the scariest thing on the schedule for me. But now I think Miami is the scariest team on the schedule without question. We'll see. Penn State.
You're hyped for this team.
Penn State goes to Ohio State this weekend. That's going to be a big game on Saturday. 3:30.
Yep.
Penn State beat Michigan at Penn State at 8 o'clock last Saturday. Barkley up there for the Heisman as well.
Yeah, he's all I keep hearing about.
Very good.
Because I live in Pennsylvania. Apparently, he's the next great running back of all time in the history of the NFL.
He's a very good running back.
I'm not saying he isn't or he isn't. I'm just saying his hype train is insane, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying it's insane. So I guess he'll be drafted #1 overall since he's so great.
Probably not.
But he's so good.
He's very good.
So why wouldn't he be #1?
Because running backs are usually not.
Knock it off.
Top 10 picks.
Because there hasn't been that type of talent, apparently.
Do you think he's going to be that good?
I don't know. I don't watch the man. I've seen some highlights and some clips of him. I'm just going off his hype train. What I'm saying is,
he's going to be like.
His hype train says he's going to be #1 overall. Which at that rate, why wouldn't he be? I'm not saying he shouldn't be.
I think he's going to be a very Christian McCaffrey type player in the NFL. He's going to come in and get a lot of touches, both from running and receiving. I think he's going to be dominant, like LaShawn McCoy-ish. But running backs can only do so much on the NFL field.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't remember. Is he the one that you said he's better than Ezekiel Elliott? Or he looks like Ezekiel? You said that about somebody.
I think he's as good as Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette. Yes, I think he's in that range.
So he's not a #1 overall pick then? Considering what Ezekiel Elliott's doing right now?
Todd Gurley, that range. I mean, they were all top 15 picks, and I think
they were all top 5.
Todd Gurley was, 7? Zeke was, what was the Cowboys that year, 6?
No.
Or were they 5? They weren't lower
3.
than 5. No, they weren't 3. They haven't had a higher
whatever.
than 5.
They were within 10.
That's what I'm saying. So top 15 overall. Leonard Fournette was 11? So yeah, I mean sure. Why not? It's gonna be a top 10 pick. I'm not against that. I don't know if he's the #1 overall pick. It all depends on who shakes out, who needs what.
Are these overrated quarterbacks to come out?
The guy from Wyoming, Sam Darnold from USC, who isn't having the best year. We'll see.
All these overrated quarterbacks to come out every year because we hop on that train. So ridiculous. I can't stand that. I really can't. I cannot stand we need to get a quarterback because quarterbacks are the only position in the NFL. I mean, in recent years, they've kind of fallen back on that overall in the first round, but...
It looks like Jared Goff and Carson Wentz are the last 1 and 2 that are going to do really well, but Winston and Mariota went 1 and 2,
right?
And they kind of juggle a little bit. Andrew Luck can't stay healthy. RG3 is basically already out of the league.
We had this conversation a million times. I just don't get
Cam.
Take what the best available player at...
What you need?
What you need, yes. That's exactly what you need to do. And if you need a running back and you're the first overall pick, take him.
But how good is your running back if you're Todd Gurley with the Rams the last couple of years? I'm not against it because now look at what the Rams are doing, but...
So take the talent. Take the talent.
Speaking of talent. The World Series is going as we speak. Game 1 was tied at 1 in like the 4th inning last I checked as we were kind of going through this a little bit. I'm going to take the Dodgers in the series. I'm going to straight up just say this right off the bat because the Dodgers have the most talent. They have a very good lineup. The Astros have the best offensive lineup maybe ever, but the Dodgers lineup is only 2 steps behind them, if anything. But they have a better They have a better starting pitching and better bullpen. The Astros only have 2 good starting pitchers and no bullpen. So if they get to the 5th, 6th, 7th inning and they need to get to their bullpen in multiple of these games, the Dodgers might tee off on them because the Dodgers lineup is incredible. They won 104 games this year, and they even slid. They lost 17 of 19 at one point in September.
Yeah, that was horrible.
So to do that and still win 104 games,
and you're in a World Series, so jokes on everybody else.
The Phillies swept them. Hey,
who?
Worst team in baseball.
Okay.
But I like the Astros, so whoever wins the World Series, I'll be happy. Look, as I'm putting my fan into it real fast, I'm rooting for the Dodgers in the sense of Chase Utley will get a World Series if they win. I would not be against seeing the Astros win, though, because I really like Jose Altuve. I like Justin Verlander a lot.
Right, yeah.
I'm a very just big fan of a lot of players on Houston. I like players individually on LA as well. So it's gonna. I really like Puig, man. I'm a huge Puig fan. I love Kershaw.
You got to root for him to get a ring.
Yeah. I love Yu
Yu
Darvish, the pitcher. I like Bellinger. Yu Darvish. He's from Japan. He played for Texas for the last couple of years. As I already said, Utley. But I'm a big fan of Corey Seager, even Turner. You can go up and down their lineup. I like a lot of players individually on their team. Magic owns them.
So I'm saying I'm good with the Dodgers just because of Magic. Shout out to LA. I hope they get one. It's been a grip. I mean, why not?
I even like both managers. They're good guys. Both managers are good guys. Mm-hmm. So
I like Magic. I like Puig.
Puig's so fun to watch. I'm going with the Dodgers because they are the better overall team, but it's going to be a fun, hopefully, 7-game World Series. Maybe we'll see. I'm very excited to see what Verlander does. I'm excited to see how Kershaw pitches. As we were watching, Kershaw looked pretty good.
Shout out to the Yankees that took an L, which made Dwight happy in 2017.
They won 3 straight home games. They looked unstoppable at home.
But
that game that last time we were here, it was 4-1. Astros were up in game 3 of that. No, game 4 of that series. It was 2-1 in the series. They're 4-1. They lose the game 8-4. They end up losing the next game, so they're down 3-2 going back to Houston. They win both games in Houston. Justin Verlander, game 6. Unbelievable. CC Sabathia was 10-0 this year after the Yankees lost. That was his first loss this year after the Yankees lost.
I could care so hard less.
The Astros, man. I like the Astros.
I'm so glad that the Yankees lost.
I wouldn't have been against the Yankees-Dodgers World Series due to the history of it, but I'm all in on Dodgers-Astros. I think they are the 2 best teams. They were the 2 best teams at the All-Star break. I thought they were the 2 best overall teams in the MLB this year. Even though
I'm just angry
the Indians and Cubs will give them a run for their money, mainly the Indians, but what were you saying?
I'm just an angry person. I can care less about any of that. I'm just glad the Yankees lost because I'm a better person. In 2017, I enjoyed it.
2 more topics before we do our picks.
I enjoy the fact that they lost. For many great reasons.
A team that isn't winning a whole lot early.
The Yankees.
No, early in the NBA season. The Sixers are 1-3 as of this recording. They play tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Overrated. So much hype and garbage.
They play a very hard schedule in the first 2 months of the season, so I think it will even out sometime right around probably middle of January. But Embiid in the
middle of January, it'll even out.
Embiid in.
Well, then I don't want to hear anything good that happens about the 76ers between now and January. I don't want to hear about it because nothing's going to happen between now and January.
I think the Embiid looked good in 3 of the 5 games so far. 3 of the 4 games so far.
Did you guys actually play him? Did you actually play him?
Yeah, 1 game. He only sat 1 game. He only sat 1 game. He played the other 4.
What?
Or the other 3.
I'm going to ask this question and I know the answer.
Cleveland has lost twice.
Stop. Shh. I'm going to ask this question and I know the answer. But I just need you to throw it out
Simmons
there.
got a triple-double already.
I don't care about Simmons. Is it not a joke that they sat this man already?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have liked to seen him play.
How about that?
But I would also...
Here it is. The process that nobody can define. That doesn't make any sense.
I'd like to see them still make a run at the playoffs this year, but... Going 1.
So what do you do?
Going 1-3 is not a good start. They got blown out by 25 in Toronto, but they won the next game by 6 or 7 in Detroit. How about Detroit, man? Nobody's going to their games in this new arena. The arena looks really nice, but they can't get anybody to go. I feel bad for them that can't get anybody.
I don't know why Sixers fans are going to Sixers games other than this hype.
Simmons, man, triple-double.
What is the record again?
1-3. He almost got a triple-double in all 3 of the losses. He got a triple-double in the win.
That's what's up.
Embiid looked really good in the win.
When he plays.
Embiid looked pretty good in 2 of the losses as well. Speaking of somebody who looked good
we're just going to keep talking about the 76ers, about how Embiid looks good when they lose, and then what, we're going to be on 500 again?
What is the Lakers' record? I don't even know what the Lakers' record is. I wanted to move on to Ball because we talked about Ball pretty extensively last week.
No, we're still on the 76ers because you're not going to gloss over the fact that they're 1-3 and we're
they're
still
1-3. I said it, and I said if they continue to do that, they're obviously not going to make the playoffs. You can't keep going 1-3 and then make the playoffs. Every 4 games, if you go 1-3, you will not make the playoffs, even in the East.
I feel like
you
are being so nonchalant about the fact that Embiid
sits
is
one every
just
4
chilling.
games, if he sits one every 4 games, he would literally sit 1 quarter of the season.
Well, you should just trust the process and whatever that means, because I still don't know what the hell that means.
He plays 60 games if he sat a quarter of the season. Would you be alright with that?
No, play the whole season if you're healthy.
83?
Yes, play 87 because you're healthy. Yes, why not?
So you think they get swept in the first round if they're only playing 4? 87.
Make the playoffs. How about that? How about you stop being garbage and stop being a joke of the entire league and actually make the playoffs? How about that? Stop worrying about, well, we're going to get swept in the first round. Well, you're 1-3. You got a star that you paid all this money to, and you sit them out.
Because you said 83, and then you said 87, but 3 plus the 4 would be 7. That's why
you keep glossing over the fact that the 76ers organization keep running this as a joke.
I mean,
it's not a joke.
I told you before the
Is
season
it
60 to 65 games out of him.
Is it a joke?
Told you before the season I'd like to see 60 to 65 games out of him, and I'd like to see them
in
make
4
a run
games.
push
You
for
sat
the
the man. Is that a joke?
I think them going 1-3 is worse than him sitting one of the 4 games. I'm okay with him sitting one of the 4 games. I'm more mad that they're.
What if they would have won? They might have won that game. They'd be 2-2.
I would rather them be 2-2 than 1-3. That's for sure.
Then they should knock this joke off. This is what I said before about this dumbass process.
I said between 60 and 65 games is what I want to see from him this year.
This is what I said about this dumbass process, is that there's no clear-cut solution to it, and there's no... It works because you know what? As a 76ers fan...
I think they're going on a timeline. I don't have the timeline. You don't have the timeline. I'm hoping that they go for the playoffs this year.
I didn't even say what I was going to say. Stop defending them. Stop.
I'm not defending. I just don't think that we are on the same... I think that you want
what is your
instant gratification.
I
don't know it. I just said it.
Y'all want instant gratification. That's why y'all went and bought all these nut-ass tickets.
I would like to see them go make the playoffs this year. I absolutely agree, but I don't know if that was in their...
So
that was in their formula.
Again. So
if
listen
they're even
to me.
talented enough to do that, I watched JJ Redick miss 2 open threes, and I was banking on him making some shots. You know what I mean? You're looking for.
So, what are you trusting in? What is this? Again, I'm gonna ask this for the 1000th time. What are you trusting in?
In 4 games, Simmons almost getting a triple double in all 4 of them. Him actually getting a triple double in one of them. Embiid in the 3 games. In the 3 of the 4 games he played, in 2 of them looking really, really good. In the 1 not looking good at all. But in 2 of the 3 that he played, he looked phenomenal. You're hoping Fultz can start to get some more minutes off the bench because he's coming off the bench. You would really like to see JJ Redick hit some more shots. Dario's been playing pretty well.
I have yet to hear what the process is that you're trusting. What do you trust? What is a successful season for the 76ers? You said you hope they make the playoffs.
I would like to see them make the playoffs.
So what is the 76ers' goal this year? Because...
I don't know what their goal is. My goal for them is to make the playoffs.
And that's a joke.
Well, what is the Lakers' goal this year?
Well, apparently to win a championship and put Lonzo Ball's jersey up there.
What's Toronto's goal this year?
To go to the playoffs and win a championship.
What's Orlando's goal this year?
I don't know what the hell Orlando's goal.
What's the Mavericks' goal this year? The Mavericks look like they're tanking.
The Mavericks are always trying to compete.
What's
why you always deflect? We're talking about the 76ers. You always.
I understand. No, I'm not against it.
Because every time you have
I would like it to be championship or bust. We both know exactly how I feel. I'm all in on championship or bust. The Sixers are obviously not championship or bust this year, right?
Every single time.
So it's not even good enough for what I'm usually looking for. I'm looking for championship or bust year in and year out. The Sixers are obviously not going for that right now. That maximum, they might not even be going for playoffs like I want them to be.
Well, then why do you trust this process? Stop hashtagging it then.
Nah, I trust in.
I trust in what? What are you trusting? You trust in a bunch of rich people?
I think in the next 3-4 years, this team is going to be solidly a top 3 team in the East.
3 to 4 years. We're 5 years past that. That's why I can't. Like, and every
Would you
single
like to talk more?
No, yes, and every time I say the 76ers, and I say, what do you feel about this? Because you can't defend this. What are the Lakers doing? We're not talking about the Lakers. What are the Sixers doing? Nobody understands.
All we can do is talk about it week by week, and I'm fully willing to admit that there's a very good possibility the Sixers could go 1-4 for the rest of the season.
Trust the process.
And
the
every
process
4 games,
is
and
Embiid apparently, and we
do this every 4 weeks, and I would just sit here and tell you I don't know.
The process is Embiid supposedly, and he sat out a game 4. 4 games in.
As I told you, I'd like to see him play 60 to 65 games this year. If he sits one every 4 games, he'll play just under 60. I think he'll play 57. If he sits one every 4 games, I'd like to see him not do that. But
76ers are a joke. The organization's a joke. It's ran as a joke. They have such a fun, good, young team, and everybody buys all these tickets to this team that they don't even know what the hell they want to do. Apparently, they're 1-4, and they could possibly be at least 2-2, if not 3-1. And then we wouldn't stop hearing the end of that. I can't stand y'all. Like that organization is ran so poorly.
I don't think they're going to win a championship this year or next year.
That has nothing to do with it.
On championship or bust. So until they do that, I can't really.
I guess if they're an 8 seed or if they're a 9 seed, whatever the case is going to be, it's going to be trust the process.
I'd like to
because
see them
nobody knows what that is because there's no actual definition of what that means. So regardless, it's going to be trust the process. Got it.
Well, they fired the guy that started that slogan in the first place.
And they still use that garbage. Even though they have no definition of what that actually means. Even though Embiid's supposedly, and he sat out one of the 4 games that he played already. Abysmal.
We'll keep it in the East and then we'll go Lakers. Did you see Dwayne Wade decided to go to his coach and say that he wants to come off the bench? Do you think this was his decision, Tyronn Lue's decision, or LeBron James' decision?
Well, if Dwayne Wade went to him, I'm assuming it was his decision. And Gabrielle Union, I heard her. She was on ESPN earlier today, and she actually said, "Yeah, we had this conversation, and he's good with it. Why not? He's an older guy."
I think he should go with it, and I think I'd like to see him come off the bench. J.R. Smith can ball out. LeBron's going to play the point guard. They in the first quarter of that game were getting blown out when I checked the score before this, so that's a little weird. But
Dwayne Wade trusts the process of LeBron James, so that's cool. At least you can actually put a definition to that process.
Would you be shocked if he retired at some point this year, or do you think he's going to ride it out?
Wade?
Yeah.
He's definitely riding it out. That's not even a conversation.
I've heard a lot of people think that, this is just a step in the maturation of he's getting closer and closer to retirement. But I think he rides it out, too.
He's going to at least get through the year.
I've heard the speculation. So
he's got 3 years, and I'm not going to off people. That doesn't make sense.
Last thing I want to talk about.
This is his first year on the bench.
I agree. Last thing I want to talk about in the East. You wanted to brag a little bit?
No.
We were talking last year, 2 years. Well, we've been talking for a little while.
I talk a lot.
Well, we've been talking about a Milwaukee Buck, the Greek Freak.
Who that?
We told everyone to watch, keep on alert. We told them going throughout the playoffs, throughout the regular season last year, we were talking, hey, keep your head on a swivel, watch for that guy. And then
somebody that actually plays games and is a monster, yes.
When the playoffs came, we were like, yo, you need to pay attention and watch him.
Yep.
He did his thing.
And what is he doing right now?
Averaging upward towards 40 points a game.
Way too early conversation for MVP candidate, yeah.
Hey, my dude Anthony Davis is pretty close to averaging the same number, but not as much, I think it's steals. Giannis is averaging almost a triple or a quadruple double. He's averaging I think 6 steals. That's the furthest he's away from 10. I think he's averaging 11 rebounds, upward to 40 points, and I think 6 or 7 blocks.
So, one of your favorite shows, First Take, posted this question today. Right.
I wouldn't go one of my favorite shows, but okay.
Giannis or DeBrow? Because I'm taking Giannis. So much potential. Anthony Davis has a lot of potential. I agree, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like Giannis is... They call him the freak. There's such a monster there that the potential is ridiculous. I feel like Anthony Davis, we kind of have an idea of where he will be. Giannis, he has such a scale.
If Giannis gets a shot, he becomes something that we can't even define. But if he gets a shot outside of the paint, because he can post up on some people, but he's not really hitting it consistently. You could see him stretch the floor. If he can hit it from 40% from three, because he's hitting it from about 20 to 30%. If he can hit it from 40% from free, if he can hit it from 50% from mid range, he's really going to be looking at those numbers.
That's more so where I'm at, because I saw people saying, "Oh, he doesn't have a 3," and I'm not concerned about
He can hit about 25 to 30% of his three. That's about the NBA average, anyways, outside of the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see him stretch out a bit more. I would like to see him become a better defender, but outside of that, this guy. We've been talking about him, man. We weren't the first people.
I don't think there's a wrong answer, but I'm gonna also pick the Greek Freak. I hate to do that because I love Anthony Davis, and I think Anthony Davis is a very good player. I don't think you're picking wrong. If you pick Anthony Davis, I think you could argue for either of them. Honestly, I think Anthony Davis has more potential than people will get. I think he's the Andrew Luck. I think he's the Andrew Luck of the NBA.
Here's the. Well, you can't say that to me, but
underrated.
That's overrated to me.
See,
I feel like with Anthony Davis, the one thing I will say negative.
Took his team to an AFC Championship. Then look at their team. Look how bad they are.
So did Tim Tebow. So did Mark Sanchez twice. Whatever.
Tim Tebow didn't take his team to no AFC Championship.
Correct, but he did beat the Steelers. Good Steelers team.
Seven of the wins of his team that year weren't him at quarterback.
Whatever. The one thing I will say about Anthony Davis is that I almost feel like you're the only one. I feel like Anthony Davis has kind of hit that just ceiling. Like I feel like he's which isn't I understand that, but listen, he's already great. I don't know how much greater he can. Personally, you're asking my opinion. I don't know how much greater he's going to become. He's already great.
I think he's just entering his prime. I think the last
year, and that's correct.
Next year, and the year after, I think are like just the early stages of his prime, and I think he's going to at about 28, 29 is where you'll see him at his best. I mean, you're still 8 years away from that, 7 years away from that. If he stays healthy, he's got to stay healthy.
I get that. I just kind of feel like we.
Same with the Greek Freak. The Greek Freak's only what, 20, 21?
I don't know. I
think he's a year or two.
Again, this is just everything's opinion, but I feel like this is real opinion. I feel like the Greek Freak just has just more of that upside. I don't know why. It's just a feeling that I have. And if this man can get some freaking help, which he doesn't have, when Jabari Parker comes back, which apparently is until January,
right,
it'll be good.
I'm a big Jabari fan, but he can't stay healthy.
Even if he stays healthy, that's not enough. They need another shooter.
Yeah.
They need another piece. They don't need a superstar. They need another piece. They need a closer. Right now, Greek Freak isn't that guy. Jabari Parker is not that guy. There's nobody on that team that you're going to. You're not going to Jason Terry.
So speaking of
they need another scorer.
Speaking of closer.
And if they get that, they're going to be
If I asked you before the season, out of the three in Oklahoma City, who would be the closer there?
How do we go from the Bucks to them? Okay.
Out of the three in Oklahoma City.
What about them?
If I asked you before the season who would be the closer, taking the final shot of the game, who would you pick?
Yes.
Okay. They picked Melo, and he made the shot.
What is this, 1 out of 4?
And then Wiggins came back and hit the game winner anyways. Oklahoma City's look pretty good, though, outside of that. I mean, they lost that game, but they look good in that game.
They look good.
They've looked good all season.
They look good.
Better than I thought they were going to. I'm a big Melo fan. I'm glad to see what they're doing. Paul George has looked good. All three of them are getting their touches and their points. Russ is getting all of his numbers. It is early.
They look good very early. Yeah, definitely.
Steph Curry threw his mouthpiece at a ref.
Yeah. Childish, stupid.
Did you see Kevin Durant walking off the court after he got ejected, telling the fans?
What did this drama queen do now?
I got a ring.
We know.
I guess they were yelling something at him. I don't know. What else did I want to talk about in the NBA?
Kevin Durant's such a female.
Okay,
talk about females. Let's talk about Kyrie. Did you see what happened with Kyrie? Speaking of fans.
Yelled F you at the Sixers fan.
I wasn't talking about that, but what?
He was walking off the court.
So Kyrie is even a bigger...
They had a close game against the Sixers on Friday, and where Joel Embiid played really bad in. They had a close game. They beat the Sixers. Kyrie was walking off the court, and a Sixers fan happened to yell, "Hey, Kyrie, where's LeBron?"
Right. Okay, so I heard that.
He yelled, "Hey, F off."
I thought you were saying that somebody... Okay, never mind. Okay. Why
He
you
shouldn't
so,
have yelled it.
Why are you
Just
so
keep
sensitive,
walking.
bro? Right.
Just keep walking.
You've been called worse. You play in Boston.
Not a big deal.
You play in Boston. You are a black male athlete.
Yeah, you've been called worse. Probably in Boston.
Just saying. It's not that serious.
Did you see that
It's also funny that it happened in Philly. Brotherly love.
the first game of the year, who was the Clippers point guard?
No way.
He played for, is it Tony Allen?
I don't pay attention to the Clippers.
He played for Houston last year. He was point guard.
Patrick Beverly?
Yeah, Patrick Beverly, first team defense. He got into a Twitter fight with LeVar Ball before the game and ended up shutting down Lonzo.
Yep.
Other than that game, Lonzo's looked really good. He almost had a triple-double in the second game, and he's evened out in the third game. What's their record? I honestly don't even know.
I don't even know. I don't know because it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't know. I do not know. It's irrelevant to me.
He's had one bad game, one really good game, and one even game.
Yeah,
That's going to be what you get through your career.
I'm really not concerned about the record this year, honestly. I'm saying that I want it, like, this team overall, I think.
You admitted last week you want him to be like Ricky Rubio. No better than Ricky Rubio. That sucks, man. I want him to be
That's
that.
false news. I said, that's fake news. I said, I want him to be successful. And I said, but he could be. I mean, what are you
Play it back. You said it. I listened to it. I listened to the show again today. You said...
I do not want him to be just as good as
I'll
Ricky
find
Rubio.
it. I'll find it. You did
Please
say it.
look it up.
I will. I'll find it. I'll play it for you later.
I said he has a potential to just be that, yes, and which I need people to understand. Okay, you had one game. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. You had one great game.
Yeah, he
Congratulations.
also had a bad game, but he had a really mild
Okay.
game right in between them
So
as well.
where am I
Literally
going with this?
Deadlocked in between them.
So we're where I'm at, which is okay.
You see Boogie
Let's wait and
Cousins
see.
and LeVar get that picture together?
Now,
Boogie Cousins likes LeVar.
I did see that.
I like LeVar. I don't like him as much. He's starting to get in fights with players on NBA. I don't like that. I liked him before he was fighting. Like, don't get into fights with players.
LeVar needs to know his role and just, frankly, shut his mouth. After game one, who was Patrick Beverly? Blah 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 blah. And in the second game, your son balls out, and now he's a great. Like, he talks too much. I need these people to get out of his face. He has no business talking for his kid. Like, let's just let this play out. Literally, your kid got shut down game one. Your kid balled out game two. Game three, it kind of evened out. Okay, so what's the conclusion there? And out of that little small sample, what's the conclusion? It's undecisive. So there's no reason to talk good or bad. Let's just wait and see what the hell happens. I hope he does well. I'm not confident that. Game one, the team overall looked trash. Complete trash. Brandon Ingram looked like trash. Lonzo Ball looked like trash. The entire team was garbage. Period. Second game against the Suns. Look,
Everyone's beating the Suns.
everybody looked better. Cool. Third game,
You want to talk about Bledsoe and the Suns?
kinda, This
Have
is
you
where,
seen that?
yes, this is where I'm at with the Lakers. Like, let's just take it game to game and see overall where they at the end of the season. I have no expectations or no hope for them. I hope they do well. I hope Lonzo Ball does well. I don't know what you're talking about with this whole, I said he's only going to be this. I said there's that possibility, and I still feel that way.
Have you seen Patrick Beverly with this, or not Patrick, now I'm getting all messed up. Have you seen, who's the player on the Suns? Why am I?
Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe, that's right.
Yeah, he wants out. Deuces. You want to come start over Lonzo?
You hear what he said?
I'll take that.
Where he was at?
I don't want to be there. Supposedly he was at a barber shop.
No.
I think that's what he said.
The salon, he said. He was at the salon.
Okay.
Almost as good as when Boogie said, we gotta get this man out of here, and he said he was at the tanning place. Bledsoe will not play another game for the Suns. They said they're just going to send him home and pay him until they can trade him. So,
Must be nice.
right now, as of this recording, only, a day and a half into those conversations, they were saying the Nuggets are the lead team, but that's only a day into these conversations. I would say it would take about a week-ish, probably by the next time we're on the show. He might be traded. He might not even be traded by then.
They're not going to keep paying this man. He's not happy. He doesn't want to be there.
Dude.
And when you fire the coach out of the blue because we're... What, they're 0-4? Okay.
Yeah, their team's not any good. Do you have
that
any...
0-4, 0-3, whatever. That means cut the coach. If you're that early, it's a little more than the coach.
Yeah. You have any more NBA to talk about?
No, it's just gonna make me more and more angry.
All right. Well, last thing before picks, Dwight. I did not watch the last WWE pay-per-view with you. I'd like to start watching those again with you. But you want to fill us in what's going on?
Yeah, damn the pay-per-view. Let's talk about this drama that's been going on. You have no idea what's going on?
None. I'm out.
Okay, and this is it. This is a storyline. This is real life that happened last Friday that this went down. So there was a viral infection. As it turns out, I mean WWE isn't reporting this, but it's coming out that it's viral meningitis, which is insane. I don't know if you know what meningitis is, but that's very serious,
Okay.
right? It hit Roman Reigns,
Okay.
the guy, and Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Two guys that was supposed to be
And
on this pay-per-view. Roman Reigns was supposed to be in the main event of this pay-per-view.
they get canceled.
Those two get canceled and get taken off the show entirely. So WWE goes into panic mode, and the guy that replaces Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor ends up being SmackDown's AJ Styles.
Okay.
Crazy, because actually AJ Styles was just on tour on the other side of the country,
Okay.
on the other side of the world, excuse me.
Okay.
The
In
night
Europe?
before.
It's kind of messed up.
He signed up for it. He was cool with it. Apparently he was all in. Cool. Shout out to AJ Styles.
Let's make that money.
He flew back. He was there Saturday. Came in on Sunday, did a pay-per-view. Monday night he was on Raw. I'm assuming Tuesday he was on SmackDown. Shout outs to him. Okay? That's that match. You know who they put in for the main event with? It was supposed to be the Shield, which was Roman, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus 5 guys, right?
Okay.
You know who they got to replace? Roman Reigns.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Close enough.
The Rock.
Close enough. Kurt Angle. His very first match back.
You suck. You suck.
No, you know it sucks. The fact.
You suck.
No, you know it sucks.
He puts on the American flag.
I would have pointed at that flag and say that, but you know, no, he did not.
No, the flag doesn't suck. Kurt Angle sucks. You suck.
No, you know what sucks about that?
What?
Well, several things. One, the fact that they just wasted a WrestleMania spot because it was supposed to be a big return. This is his first match back in 11 years. Then he just threw it away on a throwaway match and a throwaway pay-per-view.
Did they lose? He got pinned.
No, they won, and it doesn't matter.
Did he do the pinning?
Yes, but it doesn't matter.
Of course he did.
Because halfway through the match, he was taken out, and then he came back halfway.
Why was he taken out?
Because he's out of shape. What else are you supposed to do? He hasn't been in shape. He hasn't been wrestling.
In the corner?
He was chilling. That was the worst part of it. He was just chilling. It was a clusterfuck in general. If you watch that match, I mean, it was some WCW shit. But no, it was a clusterfuck. And halfway through the match, they cut him out. He comes back in to save the day, and they get the W. But it was a waste of a WrestleMania moment because Kurt Angle, he's coming back. It's a big deal. First time in 11 years.
Yeah.
2, it just speaks volumes of how garbage this roster is in the entire company. You go to a guy that you just wasted an 11-year moment for at a WrestleMania for a throwaway pay-per-view.
The guy.
You wasted away Kurt Angle for that. Are you kidding me? Another guy that was out, Kevin Owens, was out on the SmackDown side. Apparently it was just some family thing. He had to go away. He had to just come off the card. But you know who they got to replace him while they were on any other side of the world? Triple H. Right. This is where we're at in the WWE.
Time to play the game. It's all about the game. And I win. That's a win. Good for the WWE. How did he win?
No, that's not good for the WWE. That's terrible for the WWE. You lose 2 of your top guys, and you have to call on 2 dudes from 20 years ago.
The future president, The Rock, might do it.
You have to call in 2 guys from 20 years ago to come in and save the day and to get people to get into your product. Because there's nobody else.
In the past all the time.
Because there's nobody else who is fucking relevant.
They should get somebody from the unders, from any NXT or whatever. They should have got
nobody.
They should have got people from that.
There's nobody. You know why?
There should be people down there that they could be picking from for these exact moments.
You know why there isn't? Because there's no stars anymore, dude. There's no. It's so bad that you lose your big star Roman Reigns. You lose Kevin Owens.
Do you think the WWE will still be successful in 5-10 years?
Yes, because there's nothing else in America, and they're still making great money as much as.
Do you think you'll still be interested in 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, because I'm a lifer apparently. I've been watching since I was 3, so yeah, I'm gonna keep watching. But that I'm their percentage that is always gonna watch no matter what. But the casual fans are
even though
tuning
you're
out.
annoyed.
I'm annoyed as shit. You literally go to
No, I agree. I understand what your problems are.
old ass dudes. Okay, you went to AJ Styles. That's one. You have one of 3 that you were able to replace.
The other 2 you had to do Kurt Angle and Triple H, who are the runners of.
Who
are running the WWE. They are running 2 of their shows.
Triple H is
And
the
they're both Hall of
COO in
Famers.
real life.
And they're all basically both Hall of Famers, obviously.
Triple H is the COO in real life. Kurt Angle is a Hall of Famer, and he's a Raw general manager. You should have saved that for a WrestleMania. Instead, you blow it off for nothing. You blow it off for some trip in another country, and you blow it off for a throwaway pay-per-view in the middle of October. It's not a good look. It's horrible. Garbage. I don't like it.
Would you like to do some picks?
I like to pick anything but WWE right now.
You do anything how'd you do last week, Dwight?
Fuck of a lot better than I did the week before, 12-3.
I went 10-5. Look at you going 12-3. I'm 70-36 overall.
6-6-40. It's still a gap, and I don't like it. But if we can keep doing this, we'll keep doing this.
Thursday night game. Raj was good to you for a couple weeks, so he's gonna throw you a bad one. Miami with
I won't be watching this. I'll be watching NBA on TNT.
Miami with Matt Moore taking on the bad back Joe Flacco and the lifeless Baltimore offense in Baltimore. Who you got?
I have a Jay Cutler-less Dolphins.
I have the Dolphins winning as well. I didn't know who to pick. Just seems like a trap game.
Yeah, it's a trap to watch it.
I'll tune in, but I'll probably change it.
NBA on TNT. I don't care who's playing. Is there a World Series game? There's something to watch, I promise you.
Yeah, I think there's a World Series game on Thursday.
YouTube.
JD Sports.
There you're at.
Sunday morning, if you want to wake up early at 9:30, you can watch Minnesota take on Cleveland over across the pond.
Why we keep playing these England fans?
This is the 4th and last one of this season.
It's 4 too many.
Who you got?
Minnesota.
I'm taking Minnesota to beat Cleveland as well. Does Cleveland win a game this year? I ask you every week. I'm going to keep asking you.
No.
Doesn't look like it.
Can't find a reason. Give me a reason. I can't find one.
The LAC Clippers, Chargers actually, the LA Chargers taking on the New England Patriots in Foxborough.
Your Chargers.
27 or 21 or 24 or 28 nothing over Denver last week.
Your Chargers.
I took Denver though last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I guess they're not your Chargers.
Who are you taking?
Patriots, obviously.
I'm taking the Patriots to win as well.
That's such an obvious.
Another West Coast team coming to the East Coast. San Francisco taking on Philly. Philly on a short week though, even though they're 6-1. Good. How NFL would it be that the 0-6 San Francisco 49ers are 0-7. San Francisco 49ers, whatever they would be the team to come in and beat Philly, right? Like that just would be so 2017 NFL. Who are you taking on this one?
It'd be so great. I would so enjoy having that conversation. So you could say, yeah, but they're still great.
They're still 6-2.
I trust the process over here.
Trust the process. They're still 6-2. Carson still looks.
I don't know what the end game is here, but I don't know. Did they make the playoffs? I don't know.
It's because defense. It's all because of the defense. And
I picked the Eagles because I'm not dumb, but I mean, I hope not.
I'm taking the Eagles
because that conversation would be so great if it doesn't happen, but it's not.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Of course you are.
Carolina taking on Tampa Bay. I had a very hard time with this one, but Carolina's offense.
Yeah, this is your wet dream, we know.
Cam looks so bad. We get this twice a year, every year. Cam looks so bad last week.
Your wet dream, here it is.
I have to take Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I went Tampa Bay. I mean, you can't struggle against the Bears and expect me to pick you. Cameron, Joel, Garbage Newton.
I had a pretty hard time picking this next one as well. Atlanta going up to New Jersey to take on the new New York Jets.
You had a harder time picking this?
Yeah, because the Jets have overperformed and Atlanta has underperformed. I took Atlanta.
So did I.
Atlanta has underperformed this year.
They have, but
Jets have overperformed?
No, they're still garbage.
Okay. Chicago taking on New Orleans. New Orleans at home.
Saints. Saints on a roll, man.
Saints are on a roll. You pointed that out to me earlier.
Saints on a roll. The Bears suck.
I'm taking the Bears.
Because
Saints defense.
they're at home.
Yeah, Saints defense still gave up, 40-some points to the...
Against the Bears, they're going to do that?
No, but I think they gave up a lot of points. And the Bears defense looked pretty good the last 3 weeks they played.
Okay. I'll take that extra W if that happens.
The Colts taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. I had a pretty hard time with this one. But the Bengals look good in the first half against a good Pittsburgh team. I'm taking the Bengals at home against the Colts. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Colts pulled this out.
I would be. I'm taking the Bengals. I have no faith in anything the Colts do. With or without Andrew Luck, which he is playing yet again because, I don't know, SAWFT or something. But I'm taking the Bengals.
I think he's going to probably be out the rest of the year. There's no point in bringing him back.
The rest of his career, apparently.
Oakland flying across the country for 1 o'clock game. They had a really good record last week in the 1 o'clock games. Or last year in the 1 o'clock games. They're taking on Buffalo. Buffalo coming off a pretty big win over Tampa Bay. Who are you taking in this one?
Oakland, they deserve a W after what happened last week.
I'm taking Oakland too because they have the long break. But, man,
they're the best team with the weirdest record.
I keep going against Buffalo and Buffalo keeps winning. Yeah, I agree. There's only 2 4 o'clock games. Houston taking on Seattle in one of them. I was tempted to take Deshaun Watson because I don't find Seattle's defense to be all that dominating.
And you like the genius quarterback coach?
I took Seattle.
That's how much you trust it, huh? I took Seattle as well.
I like Russell Wilson, so I think that's all it is. Dallas taking on Washington. If Dallas wins, Washington's season is likely over, as we talked about. I'm taking Dallas. I think Washington's season is likely over.
Like we said earlier, I mean, you want to talk about an LOL, Eagles losing to 49ers or Cowboys losing to Redskins? Cowboys could definitely lose to Redskins.
Absolutely.
Which just throws the whole... That just gives the Eagles such a gap.
Yes.
Which is just so gross. I'm taking the Cowboys.
This is a prove it to me, hey, Cowboys, this is a game they should win. So, keep doing what they're supposed to do, win kind of game for me for the Cowboys to see. Pittsburgh in the 8 o'clock game going to Detroit. I took Pittsburgh. I don't think Detroit... Their defenses look pretty bad the last couple weeks.
They always do.
But they were looking good early. Pittsburgh, I feel like, is getting back on track. Their 2 losses were weird. One was Chicago. One was the 5-interception game. The rest of their season, they've looked pretty dominant overall.
I took Pittsburgh, if not for anything else. I just need Big Ben to not cry on my television anymore.
Denver, struggling as of late. Taking on Kansas City, struggling as of late. Kansas City getting another Monday night home game. Who you got in that one?
Kansas City still put out the W, so I would have called it struggling.
Kansas City has had all this time off, plus I think they need this divisional win. I got Kansas City taking this one. Denver has been struggling a lot as of late. We'll see.
Very much so. I'm taking Kansas City as well.
Should be a pretty good weekend of the NFL. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, definitely.
Go Irish this week. We'll see. Everyone enjoy their baseball.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Enjoy your baseball, basketball, hockey, and football all at the same time.
Now's the time.
This
man.
is the only couple weeks you get that, so it's fun. I'm glad.
We're coming up on Halloween. You realize
coming
that?
up on it's very exciting.
Doesn't make any sense. The end of October already, man.
Thriller, watching Thriller.
Always, every year, around this time. The full video, 14 minutes. Spare that.
I don't think we need to do the 14 minutes, but I think we have an opening.
If not this week, next week.
Thank you for watching Daily Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight.
Peace out.